good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of the Winds of Change. See, do you like what I did there? Probably only people watching this back to back will get that, but last episode we started with good morning, and now we're... oh god, that's so bad. Anyway, hi guys, welcome to Winds of Change. We're going to be doing a side quest today, and it probably won't take that long to do, but it's a really cool side quest. I think I enjoy the side quests from Winds of Change a lot more than I enjoy the main story quests, even though there's cool lore stuff to talk about with the main story stuff, sure, and it's actually got a decent story. The side quests can be so funny and give you so many awesome little insights onto stuff that goes on here. In particular, this quest that's coming up is just brilliant. So, you remember one of the earlier quests in Winds of Change Part 2 where the Jade Brotherhood retaliated against us and took 3 of the early game henchmen and just bunged them in a Yeti cave, and we had to save them? Well, one of those henchmen, somebody knows that one of those henchmen or something like that, and actually once you complete that you've unlocked a quest called Family Matters. Right, which is this one here. So, and yeah, you can pretty much see what else we're gonna have to do here. Family Matters is the first in a 2-part quest chain that was unlocked for Winds of Change Part 2. So, why don't we get started? Lei Zheng said, I heard about what happened on Mount Kinkai. It's despicable that the Jade Brotherhood would use your friends to get at you like that, but it's not particularly unusual for them. Unfortunately for me, not everyone is as level-headed as you are. One of my subordinates, Imperial Guard Natsumi, is a relative of one of the students you rescued and has decided to take it upon herself to go and seek revenge on the ones responsible. She doesn't seem to understand that attacking the Brotherhood again like this will just cause more acts of retaliation. Natsumi's partner has volunteered to track her down. If you're up to it, I'd like to ask you to head into Weijian Bazaar and check on Miyuki's investigation. Okay, right, we've got to stop this before it spirals out of control. I love revenge. No, well, I do love revenge, but we're going to do this. So this is a cool quest because you get to interrogate people. It's not a simple... See, I think this is why I like these so much. For some reason, ArenaNet were a lot more fearless with the quests they were introducing in the side quests, and they didn't do generic, oh, defend this, oh, run here and kill stuff on your way, oh, escort this guy. They were doing cool stuff with dialogue, and I don't know, maybe it's because they feel like normal, shall we say, players of the game have most fun during combat in Guild Wars, but I'm actually curious about that. How many people prefer the combat to speaking to NPCs? Because and this is kind of surprising to me, actually, now that I'm thinking and saying it out loud. I prefer talking to NPCs. I prefer that. I really do in Guild Wars. That's my favourite type of gameplay. I've always said the combat feels a bit outdated now. A lot of people have been saying that recently, actually, and it's funny because I never really considered it until recently. But yeah, Guild Wars 1 combat, it's a lot more dynamic than I think it looks when you just watch it, because a lot of people describe Guild Wars 1's combat as being, oh, 2 people just stand there using skills until one of them drops down dead. It's actually a lot more dynamic than that. I think people are a little bit unfair about that when they just watch the gameplay. They tend to describe it being something like RuneScape's combat, and that's not really true at all. There is some interesting stuff, and I was playing in pre-searing the other day and on my ranger, and it's funny because in pre-searing you notice certain stuff, and I had a longbow, and you really can see there is a lot of what's in Guild Wars 2 in Guild Wars 1. Enemies can very easily dodge your projectiles. Your projectiles do have to be aimed. You do have to take into consideration the movement of your opponents and stuff like that. So there is more to it in Guild Wars 1 than people give it credit for, but nonetheless, especially in team-based scenarios, which is what 99% of the game is, it feels like wading through fudge, and I've always said it. So I don't know, it's weird. I definitely am at a point where I prefer stuff like this, where there is a little bit of combat in there, but the majority of playing this game, I prefer these quests where you're talking to people and you've got interesting decisions to be made with the dialogue. And this quest is really good, not just because, like, you'll hear about a specific fruit stall somewhere in Kaineng that sells really good oranges, which is something you do learn about in this quest, which kind of gives you a bit of an insight into what it's like living here in Kaineng. I love those little observations that people come out with and you can get, but not just because of that kind of stuff, but also because it's got some hilarious responses as well that are probably canon as well, which is really good. Anyway, we find Miyuki here fighting a Jade Brotherhood member, and they're in the middle of a conversation. Tell me what you know, scoundrel! And the Jade Brotherhood member says, ha! Like anyone would listen to someone like you. And a peasant says, I can't believe how bad things have got. Oh, shit. Okay, well, that's a completely different dialogue overlapping here. This peasant says, I can't believe how bad things have gotten. We always knew that the gangs were a threat, but if we didn't cross them, they just left us alone. And the Jade Brotherhood member saw us and said, uh-oh, reinforcements, I'm out of here, and ran off. And Miyuki says, wait, get back here. And the peasants are talking to themselves still. They say, now the ministry is inspiring would-be heroes and foreigners who don't understand our way of life to go and fight them. What good is that doing? It's making the streets more dangerous, that's what. I go to bed every night fearing for my family, praying that the fighting won't affect us. Exactly, says the peasant. They're only poking a hornet's nest, and it's the innocent people that are getting stung. So I'm not sure if that was one of the part 1 ones that we never ended up getting or what. But anyway, so yeah, we can speak to Miyuki and see what she's doing. She says, another one that ran off before I could get any useful information out of him. If only Natsumi was here. She's much more intimidating. Lei Jiang sent me to help you. Captain Lei sent you to help? I appreciate it. I can't say I've made much progress so far. Natsumi is looking for a Jade Brotherhood member known as Maijun, Vengeful Eye. He got that name due to a penchant for revenge attacks whenever the Ampha attacked him or one of his friends. And as you already know, he is not afraid to apply his techniques to others outside the Ampha. We need to track her down before she rattles the hornet's nest for a second time. Let's ask around the bazaar and see if anyone's seen either Natsumi or Maijun. These folks around here are usually pretty cooperative, but we may have to rough up some Jade Brotherhood if we want to get the answers from them. Fortunately for you, we say, fighting the Jade Brotherhood is one of my many talents. Yeah, see how we're big-headed? Right, this girl, is the one that I mistakenly called an assassin before when I think she was actually a necromancer, and she appeared in the main storyline of Winds of Change Part 2. I think this is this character. And you see we've got a bar here now called Information Gathered. Now what you can do is walk around to many of the different characters that are around here, NPCs, and speak to them and ask them about the Jade Brotherhood and whether they know where this person is. You can ask the Jade Brotherhood themselves, but you have to fight them. The Jade Brotherhood increase your progress in this bar far quicker than asking the peasants. In hard mode, it takes a lot longer to fill the bar all the way up, so you need to ask more people. However, it's not as simple as just clicking on an NPC. You have to click on them, and then you have to ask them the right thing. And furthermore, not all NPCs have got something that they want to say to you. For example, these guys, no dialogue whatsoever. Now, before filming this, I did have a map up on my other monitor with the locations of all of the characters. However, then I turned Audacity on, and that's now obscuring my vision of the map. So, we can't quite see that at the moment. I will wander around a little bit. The thing is, where I know the best course to go for this quest, I could complete it very quickly. But the fun thing about this quest is you just get to go and speak to all these different characters, and there's so many options you can do that won't give you progress in the bar, that just give you hilarious responses. And I'd like to say I could find them all for you guys, but I doubt I will find all of the responses, sadly. But we'll see what happens. So first, straight away, there's a Jade Brotherhood member here who we can fight. I guess all of the NPCs have got quest markers above their heads, which is nice. But yeah, so we can beat him up, and he says, ow, ow, I give up. I feel like this should really be a solo quest, but I wonder whether ArenaNet were hesitant to do that. And we can ask him stuff. He says, that's smart. What did you come here for? We can say 3 things. One will give us a little bit of progress, one will give us a lot of progress, and one will give us no progress. We can say, tell me what you've done with the Imperial Guard who was down here, or we can say, where's Maijun, Vengeful Eye? Tell me, quick or else. And we can say, have you ever danced with Doom in the pale moonlight? Now, there are references to things. The trivia section for this quest is pretty big. It's got all kinds of different things. That's a reference to something. I can't remember what it is, but if you know, then you probably know. But yeah, that's a reference to something. There's a reference, a particularly good reference to Monty Python later, which asks about the flight speed of an unladen mower. And if you ask the guy, it gives you no progress, but he turns around and says, wait, Crichton or Escalonian? And then he says, oh, hold on, no mowers can fly, and it's pretty good. But alright, so what have you done with the Imperial Guard? Or we can just be straight up and say, where's Maijun, Vengeful Eye? Let's do that. He says, do I look like a scribe? I don't keep detailed records of where all of our members are. Maybe you should check around the docks, maybe. And he runs off. Okay, we only got a little bit of progress there. That means probably the top option was the best one to go for. There's some more peasants. Yeah, do you know what, guys? I'm going to open up this map. Give me 1 second. There we go, much better. Alright, so it seems that actually... So there's something special here. The main reason why I've got this map up is because most peasants, as I said, don't really know very much about the Jade Brotherhood, and they won't be able to give you much information. However, there is one peasant you can speak to somewhere around here. Apparently, it mustn't be one of these. It must be maybe that guy over there. And this peasant actually has got something interesting to say if you tell him the wrong thing, actually, which is quite weird. But if it is this guy, then maybe I can explain better. No, it's not that guy. See, the map is kind of annoying because it's not 100% clear No, it's over there. Alright, hold on. There might be weird amounts of cutting or speeding up on this quest just because I'm not bad with maps. It's just when you translate a map that's got loads of text all over it and is like a weird resolution compared to the mini-map that I've got right now, if that makes any sense. It can be a little bit tricky. So apparently he's just... Oh no, okay, alright, good. So actually that was the Jade Brotherhood over there, and the guy we want to speak to is over here. Right, so we can run over here. There's lots of different things that you can do actually. I think there's some other marks as well, just regular dialogue on this map as well. We'll see about that. So this is this isle. This is quite cool actually. This was always like this, even in vanilla factions. Loads of people talking about all kinds of different stuff. I remember when I was Let's Playing this, trying to like catch all the information that was going on here, like the guy giving the show, and in the end I was just like, look, if you're watching, you can pause if you want to read it. Anyway, you got this peasant here, okay? And you can speak to him. He says, it's been so boring today. I just wish something exciting would happen. We can say three things to him. We can say, I'm looking for an Imperial Guard. Perhaps you've seen her. We can say, my Jun, the Vengeful Eye. Does that name mean anything to you? Or he can say, who's your daddy? The bottom option is nearly always the joke option that doesn't give you any progress at all. So what we're going to go with here is we're going to ask him who's his daddy. He says, Yon Ruino. He's a carpenter that works out of the marketplace. Are you a friend of my father's? Right, so he says that, okay, and that actually gives you a lot of progress because by speaking to him, it makes an NPC spawn further up in the marketplace. And it's quite interesting actually because then you can go to this NPC. Hold on, shit. Where's that NPC going to be, though? That doesn't make any sense. The map isn't helping me. The map isn't helping me. Okay. Alright. Well, that spawns a character. I have a theory about where that character might be. Unless he spawns near here. Does he spawn near here? Here's Miyuki. Oh, wow, okay, Miyuki's got some dialogue as well, we may as well read. It says, dealing with Natsumi's antics can be harder than fighting the gangs at times. It's still hard to believe she really is the eldest sister. If you ask me, Kasai is much more mature, though she could be more confident. So Kasai is the character that we saved before, one of the henchmen. I love those little relationships. Something I actually wanted to mention when we were in that Yeti cave was, wait, hold on. Musaka, oh fucking hell, all their names, I forget their names straight away. The one thing I wanted to mention actually in that Yeti cave was the fact that obviously I wasn't my Nika's sister who was a member of the Obsidian Flame, and the Obsidian Flame have no part to play in the Winds of Change, by the way, either. Anyway, so we're over here and speaking to someone apparently. We say, can you tell me anything else about my Jun? I've only met him once before. Miyuki says, then you probably know enough. He has an unhealthy obsession with the idea of revenge. To him, there's no slight small enough to avoid his wrath. Since the ministry assault against their leaders, his acts of revenge have gotten even more violent. I shouldn't have to say this, but not everyone has been as lucky as Kasai and her friends. In that case, we say, I'll make sure this is the last time. So it kind of makes you feel a little bit guilty there, actually. It makes me feel a little bit guilty that these people are being attacked when we were the one that orchestrated that. Well, we didn't orchestrate the attack, but we carried out the attack. Alright, hold on, let me consult my map. Okay, well, look, if we go towards the docks over here, just to the south of the docks, there's another member of the Jade Brotherhood we can speak to. No, there's another peasant we can speak to, sorry. And there's a bit more dialogue from Miyuki that we can speak to. So really there's three things you're looking for here. Peasants that you can speak to, Jade Brotherhood members that you can speak to, and significant areas on the map that will trigger more dialogue between you and the friend that we have following us at the moment. So if we come down here, apparently there is another peasant to be spoken to somewhere. Should be on this next island here somewhere. There we go. Alright. Oh, it actually looks like a member of the Amphar. Pretending to be a peasant. This is definitely Amphar uniform, though. Look, that's an Amphar if I've ever seen one. Been seeing a lot of ministry folks running around lately. I wonder if something is going on. We can say, does my outfit make my butt look big? That'll give you no progress, but he says, honestly, it does, if you say that. So we know what the dialogue is there, so I'm not going to waste this opportunity. We can say, seen any Imperial Guards around lately? Red and gold armor, gets really angry when people threaten her family. Or we can say, do you know where the Jade Brotherhood hang out? Let's go with the top one. Okay. Oh, you mean Natsumi? Ah, okay. I usually see her on her patrols, though it's odd that she hasn't been here in a while. Maybe try over by the shops to the east. Okay, interesting. And if we walk further south a little bit, we will get some dialogue with Miyuki, just here, I believe. Then we can turn around. Actually, there's another peasant up there that we can speak to. Tom says, how did you end up being partnered with someone like Natsumi? That was Captain Lei's decision, actually. I'm not sure what he was thinking when he assigned us. Perhaps he wanted me to look after Natsumi's short temper. Or perhaps he wanted me to learn more from her exemplary fighting skills. It's funny actually, I almost arrested Natsumi on her first day of work. She'd knocked over a fruit stand in her rush to pick up her armour from the smith, and I was on duty nearby. I made her help clean it up before I let her go, and she was late to report in as a result. Captain Lei was pretty angry, but Natsumi and I have become good friends and partners ever since then. Ah, okay. Up here there is another peasant that we can speak to. There are people all over here. I'm probably not going to be able to find everyone. The peasant says, things have been pretty busy around here lately. We can say, I'm looking for an Imperial Guard. Have you seen her? I'm looking for... Have you heard of Mai-Jun, Vengeful Eye? Or we can say, oh, this is a good one. Do you know what they call a Moa burger with cheese in Alona? I'm going to waste the opportunity, okay? A Moa burger with cheese... Yeah, they call it a War Marshal with cheese. It sounds stupid if you ask me. How amazing is that? I mean, especially to consider that might actually be canon. They have burgers in Nightfall, a special type of burger called a War Marshal with cheese. How brilliant is that? Okay, there's a member of the Jade Brotherhood we can speak to just down here. There's also a peasant around that corner. See, okay, I wasn't very clear earlier. You know, we spoke to that peasant, and he was like, oh, you mean my father? That did cause another character to spawn, and if you speak to that character, you get a ridiculous amount of information gathered. The quickest way to complete this quest is to go to that peasant, and then immediately seek out his father, who only appears if you ask him who's your daddy, and then by speaking to the father, you get loads of information gathered. I'm walking further and further away from that spot at the moment. I will try, though, before the end of this video to go and find him, even if it means a weird cut. But we got a Jade Brotherhood member here, who we will no doubt have to fight. There we go. Just knock her out. Easy peasy. Yeah, I was wrong. Please don't hurt me. Alright, just talk, okay? Put your weapons away. I'll cooperate. Right, I'm looking for an Imperial Guard. Have you seen her? Do you know a Brotherhood member named Mai-Jun? Or why do you fight? If you say, why do you fight? The Jade Brotherhood member's like, because you attacked me. What kind of a stupid question is that? I'm going to go with the top option. We got loads. That bull-headed woman attacked me for no reason. I fed her a line about the dock, so the guttable wench is probably over there right now. And she runs off. Right, okay. I think I'm going to cut it, guys, until we find this father, because I don't feel like it would be right to complete this quest without it, and if I'm unlucky and get a good response from the next person, then that might just sort of end it. So I'll see you guys in a second. Ah, here we go. Right, yeah. So what you're supposed to do is speak to that peasant all the way over there, right? And then you retrace your steps all the way back up near to the entrance of the area. And you'll find this guy here. I'm actually not sure if he spawns when you speak to the peasant. It's just he's got nothing interesting to say to you unless you ask that one peasant. That's the only peasant, by the way, that you can do it with, who's your daddy. And if you do that really obscure step and then know to come back here, you can speak to this guy. He says, business hasn't been good since the Ministry of Purity started their sweeps. And we say, your son tells me that you're quite the carpenter. We say, oh, you've met my son. That boy is so worthless sometimes. I'd like to help him out more with the business, but all he does is loaf around the bazaar all day. I could have used his help earlier, too. Some Jade Brotherhood were looking for some protection money. Fortunately, an Imperial Guard came by and scared them off. She probably chased them all the way up back to their headquarters up on the northern end. Oh, their headquarters, really. And now we have all the information we need. Miyuki says, all right, I think we've got enough information. Let me see your map. Based on their testimony, I think we should head here next. So yeah, back over to the headquarters. So that guy, pretty much, he alone, if you do those weird steps, pretty much tells you instantly exactly where they've gone. That won't be enough to completely fill your progress bar if you've spoken to no one else, but because of those few NPCs that I've already shown you that are kind of dotted around the area, and indeed there are some more around here about on this part of the dock as well, this little area here. So if you just go to those, you'll be fine. You'll have more than enough, and that's the quickest way to do it. You need to speak to a couple of people, but generally you're pretty good. So for the last bit of the quest, we need to go back up to the headquarters. Shock, horror. And I'm almost tempted to just speed it up while we run along this dock, because I've probably been recording for quite a while already as it is. It depends how much I cut out of me just sort of fumbling around looking at the map. You know, it always depresses me how every time you walk over here, every time, no matter what quest you seem to be on, these knights are specifically spawned and aggroed so that they'll go onto this peasant and kill the peasant in just an instant flat. It's really depressing. I've always wanted to save that peasant, but without doing something stupid and gimmicky, you just can't. It's ridiculous. You know what? This whole place is an island, right? Why haven't the Imperial Guard, right? If the Jade Brotherhood keep swarming back to it, and the Imperial Guard have clearly done nothing to stop that, even the Ministry of Purity in their crusades are still letting Jade Brotherhood essentially choose new leaders and bring them to the same spot. Since this is like a man-made island that just appears to be built on like stilts, why don't they just fucking sink it? Just sink it. Just destroy the whole place. Or at least put your own men here. Don't just kill loads of Jade Brotherhood and then leave them alone. Take their homes. Take their base of operations away from them. That's a big group that just came in there. I think I was supposed to aggro them, but I got lucky. But okay, so we're coming up here. Not too many things to fight in this quest. Like I say, this quest is more about the dialogue, and there's a lot of funny stuff. There'll be a link in the description, if I remember, because this is a few days in advance now. Could be a link in the description, taking you to the wiki page, and you'll be able to read all the funny answers for yourself. Like I said, there's that one about the mower. I think my favourite one, though, is about that cheeseburger. That's hilarious. But you can come over here, and here is my junk. And this is not the Amphab person I was talking about earlier. I don't know why I got that in my head. But we can speak to Mai-Jun, I believe. And also Natsumi's here as well, as you can see. Our father would often tell me that fear cuts deeper than a blade. I would rather face the 1,000 blades of the Jade Brotherhood than deal with the fear of what could have happened to my sister had you not intervened. Hey, don't worry about it. I like that we've learned so much about their family. Oh shit, is she still following me? No, where's Mayuki? Oh, she needs to follow you to get here. Shit. I'll see you in a second. I need to cut it and find her. Wiki warned about that. That's a problem with this quest. Oh, look! Look, you're all the way back here. We're at the start. Look at that. And why haven't you followed me? Why are you so stupid? Come over here. Come over here. What's she stuck on? What is she doing? There you go. Good. I literally just had to walk all the way back to the portal for this. Ugh, you stupid woman. Come on, hurry up. Oh, there we go. Alright, so now that she's here, actually, we've got some extra dialogue. Miyuki said, Natsumi can be a handful at times, but this is the first time she's directly gone against the captain like this. She's always been very protective of Kasai and June, though. And we say, I can understand her anger, after all. It seems like this is partly my fault, but Leia's right, and that we need to stop her before this gets worse. I agree, let's find her as quickly as possible. And you're, I guess, supposed to be fighting there during that conversation. Livia, are you alright? Come on, over here. And now we walk over here with Miyuki with us. Okay, so that little blip aside, this quest is quite fun. With Miyuki with us, we can come over here. And all of these Jade Brotherhood that are standing around allied for no apparent reason will probably be against us now. Mai-Jun, I'm here to bring you to justice, said Natsumi. They're no longer frozen in time. And Miyuki says, Natsumi, wait! And Miyuki says, Miyuki, what are you doing here? Who do you people think you are? Ah, wait, I know you. You're the sister of that student I captured. She was crying about something like that when I left her in that cave to die. I see you've gotten this so-called hero to track me down. Why, you? Vengeance is an irresistible fruit, is it not? You may kill me here, but just remember that your actions make you no better than us. And we say, no, it is different. We're here on behalf of those who cannot fight for themselves. The Jade Brotherhood only acts in its own self-interest and greed. Dress it up with whatever words you want, but I can see the anger in your eyes as well. You still seek vengeance. So come, see if you can take it. And we go mental, chicken oriental at the... I said that the other day in one of the episodes, and everybody left so many comments about it. In like real life, I say that with like inverted air quotes. I say that kind of stuff all the time. So yeah, but yeah, so we get to fight them. There's a bit more in here with like all that kind of morals and stuff going on, isn't there? But pretty easy fight there, as you can see. They all died. That's probably because it's normal mode. Actually, I forgot about that. I'm just kind of enjoying normal mode at the moment. Mai-Jun says, ah, do it, kill me. But remember, my death will only continue the cycle of vengeance. I've been waiting for this for a long time, says Natsumi. And Miyuki says, Natsumi! And Natsumi says, no, you're right, Miyuki. This stops here. Mai-Jun, vengeful eye, by the authority of the Dragon Empire, I hereby place you under arrest for kidnapping, attempted murder, and 23 counts of other criminal activity. This isn't over, hero. You can't stop what you started when you attacked us. And we say, no, but I can stop you. And I feel like I should point at him at that point. Thanks for helping me, Tom. Natsumi and I will take this guy to the prisons before apologising to Captain Lee. See, look, they mentioned prisons in this quest as well. We've never heard about prisons in Kaineng. And it ends with, oh, that reminds me. I got this note from one of the Jade Brotherhood I was questioning on the way here. Could you take it to him? It seemed pretty important. And this is one of those quests, by the way, where it looks like you can zone out pretty quickly and you miss loads of dialogue. They all run off to the prisons. I would be if I wasn't filming, I'd be half tempted to follow them just to see where they went. I'm sure there's someone out there who speculated on the location of the prisons from following them there, but I'm sure they just go to some kind of a portal and disappear. But yeah, there you go. Whew. So that took me a lot longer to actually complete than I thought it would, but we'll see how much gets cut out. Go back to Kaineng. Super long loading screen. Speak to Lei Zheng. And he says, thank you for your help. Natsumi has a tendency to overreact to things, but in this case, I can't really blame her. To have her sister attacked and left for dead as a means of an example to another, well, I'm just glad we were here to stop her in time. Having Mai-Jan off the street should hopefully slow down the Jade Brotherhood as well. Now, let's see this document she managed to recover. This is disturbing. It seems to be some kind of a draft of a treaty agreement. The other party is blank, however, so I'm not sure who it is. It seems the actions of the Ministry of Purity have driven even the Brotherhood to seek allies elsewhere. I'll start an investigation into this, so don't worry. In the meantime, please take this as compensation for your assistance. Wait, is that kind of... Because you can do this quest immediately after the Yeti Cave one, so is that kind of hinting at the whole thing we saw in the main storyline with them going to... The Jade Brotherhood went to the Kurziks, right? And then the Amphail went to the Luxons. So maybe it's like that? Maybe that's what they're hinting at. But there is another quest in that chain, if I remember rightly. After... Oh, no, there's not, actually. The next one, though, is Vassal States. Yeah, I think that is kind of the follow-up to it. But the next one is Vassal States. Join me next time for that, guys. And, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, even though it might have got a little bit too long. And I guess I'll see you tomorrow. See you later.